Hello, my name is John Gerdebed. I am Final Boss Fights Resident Tech Ninja, and you join me for episode 201 of the Final Boss Fight Emergency Escape podcast. This is a slightly different intro because this is a slightly different podcast this week. I'm going to take off my glasses for a moment because I can
show you how serious this is.
This is so how serious I'm being. It felt like the moment.
This is a slightly different podcast.
Somebody do yeah.
Yeah.
That's the. Okay, let's try this again. This is a slightly different podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you. I am joined. I need glasses that don't reflect the myriad of computer screens that are in front of me at the moment. But that's not how these work.
Maybe don't have a myriad of computer screens in front of you.
It's your own fault, John.
How would I you
have one screen?
I'd look. It still reflects the one screen that I have in front of me.
Yeah, but it's much better than when it was reflecting two screens.
Well,
anyway, do you want to make introductions? Because, so far we're just talking about your amount of screens.
I can't scream. Help. I am joined by a red panda again. I get the feeling that I'm going to either go insane and start seeing red pandas everywhere, or actually that's probably the only scenario.
That's the only
really,
possible explanation of what's going to happen, John.
What are you on about that, Sean?
Yeah. This is how everyone looks, John.
You say in perfect synchronizing to a nose twitching.
Yeah.
Have you got your mouth wide open at the moment?
Yeah.
And I'm also joined by my brother Andrew. Go to bed.
Sir. Oh, Drew, please.
By my brother Drew. Go to bed.
Thank you.
And we are going to talk about some things, stuff, and doodahs.
Indeed.
We are possibly going to be joined by Dan, but he couldn't get connected to the Google Plus thing tonight, so we decided to start without him. Dun dun dun.
We did do that thing, so it is not at the moment as ever Dan.
Indeed. We don't actually have any news to discuss tonight because we did all the news in episode 200 on Friday. There's probably like a link to.
Is episode 200 just over there?
It is.
It's over there and or down there.
Yeah,
there might be a button that you can use to find it up here as well.
It looked a little funny.
Sure, it's not here.
Well, I'm fairly certain it's not that way.
It could be
ruling it out.
It could be over this way somewhere.
Could be here.
I like how we're like using fingers and Sean's like my head.
I can't use my hands.
Just follow Sean's nose.
There. It's where. Put a small annotation box where my nose is. Now follow it, John.
Nose.
Now follow it.
I don't even know if I can annotate live events.
No, you probably can't, but I want it done, John.
Make it so.
You've got the magical piece of software that turns you into a red panda. You put an annotation on your own nose.
I can't put an annotation on my own nose. That's crazy talk, John. Crazy.
What do you mean turns him into a red panda? He is a red panda.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about games that we've been playing. I guess that you guys are going to talk about Evolve. You guys have been playing that.
I dabbled, yes.
I have also dabbled.
Sean, you played a demo for a thing that you've now purchased.
I played a demo for Civ Beyond Earth.
Which Dan talked about on the podcast last week.
Yeah, but
you can talk about you.
The demo is a little bit weird, so I'll be talking about that.
And Drew, you've recently purchased Sunset Overdrive.
I have recently purchased Sunset Overdrive.
So I'm assuming you're going to talk a little bit about that. I am going to, however, take over the podcast for a moment and talk a little bit
About politics.
No.
About my stamp collection. It's a wonderful thing. Have you seen my stamp collection? This one.
Philately will get you nowhere, Sean. Ba-dum-tish. Thank you. No, we are going to talk a little bit about what I did on yesterday evening, which was go and see Video Games Live, which is a video games concert. I would highly recommend that anybody that gets a chance to go see Video Games Live, if you like video games, which if you don't, why are you here?
Does beg the question.
If you like video games and you like the music from video games, then this is a no-brainer. You should go see this concert. It is awesome. If you're slightly into the music of video games, you should go see this concert. It is awesome. If you're into classical music,
Can I take a stab at this? It is awesome. Go see.
Go see this concert. It might get you a bit turned on to video games music because it is sort of an amalgam of a classical concert and video games music. I mean, it was about 3 to 4 hours worth of video games music with video games composers there doing it. I mean, it's led by a guy named Tommy Tallarico, who is a Guinness World Record holder, and actually, as of last night, holds 2 Guinness World Records. One of them for composing the music to over 300 games in 25 years.
Cool.
Which is quite a sum of video games music. Sean, you may recognize his music from Earthworm Jim.
Yes.
Earthworm Jim.
As he says, that's his most favorite game to have scored. But he also now holds the record, or I suppose his Video Games Live now holds the record for the most prolific video game music concert, with somewhere in the region of 200. No, that can't be right. With lots and lots and lots and lots of shows. I'm not going to be specific. Go buy the Guinness World Records Gamers Edition and find out the actual number and tell us in the comments down below for a no prize.
Yeah, and the Guinness World Records, the checks go to...
They actually brought the guy up onto stage from the Guinness World Records.
And said, look, here's a guy from Guinness World Records.
And they actually presented him with the big certificate.
Yeah.
What they also did was they said that with most of these classical music concerts, it's very much a case of you sit there, you listen to the music, and you clap very politely at the end. With this, they weren't that into that. It was a case of if there was anything that you liked in the stuff they showed, in the music they played, in the stuff that they said between the music that they were playing, whoop, holler, cheer, shout, clap, applaud. I can't think of any other synonyms for those things.
Make noise.
Make some noise. And it was an audience that really lived up to that. I mean, highlights were possibly the bit at the beginning of the show where he first said this and someone said, please, let's get some Tron going. And he turned to the crowd and saw, made sure that they'd said Tron. And then he walked over to the camera that was doing, they have those big screens at concerts.
Yeah.
He walked over to the cameraman that was doing that and told him to point the camera down at his shorts and pulled his underwear up to show that he was wearing Tron underpants.
Right.
He then basically said, well, I've now just shown 2,000 people my underwear. My mum's really proud of me. The other brilliant moment, other than the excellent music
And the pants.
and the underpants, was the bit where he shouts into the audience, some people say that video games make you violent, which is met with lots of booing, as it's that sort of a crowd. And one person near the front that he can hear, but we couldn't at the back, who shouts, "Let's go kill those guys."
Can't help but think that won't solve matters.
I also like how John goes to a music venue, goes to a concert, and he says the two greatest things was a joke and someone showing their underpants.
Not the music. The music sucked.
To be fair, the
music wasn't bad, but he showed his pants and it was amazing.
The music was excellent. I mean, I can't say things about the music because the music was amazing. There were songs from everything, and like even the things that I've not played, you get caught up in, because you're in a crowd that's loving it. There's whooping, hollering, and cheering, and shouting, and applause, and this excellent music. I mean, they had a bit with. They opened with Metal Gear Solid music, and they had the whole piece of that Metal Gear Solid music was introed by Hideo Kojima. I personally let out the only time in the evening, or at least the very first time in the evening, the only time in the evening that I let out a unintended whoop of cheering was the Sonic medley, because they did a Sonic the Hedgehog medley that covered all of the classic Sonic games. And like at the end of it, they did the classic sort of the level ending music, and there was the end of the piece, and I just heard someone go whoop. Louder than that, but I can't really do that tonight on the podcast.
They went
in the house with people sleeping. But I heard a whoop of delight and went, wait a minute, that was me. I did that noise.
I like how you hear the noise before you suddenly realise, like, holy crap, that was myself.
Jesus!
It was
dare does one show emotion during a live concert like this? What is this?
It was such an unexpected thing that I didn't realise that I was doing it, and it was that sort of a thing where you could go, wait, oh yeah, me, yay, I really enjoyed that. But they came on and they did like 3 or 4 encores. I mean, they kept showing various interstitial video bits from some like YouTubers that had put together. Oh, I don't know if they'd put together. I think these were like, was it Danebo.com who's done some funny videos of like video games versus. So it was like one of them was Sonic the Hedgehog versus Pac-Man, and it was like Sonic playing the role of Pac-Man in the maze. And he just like finishes it in 5 seconds because he just like spin attacks and all over the maze. I'm describing things well. Basically, if you get a chance to go see video games live, they do a number of different concerts. They have so many different musical bits that they can do that they keep every single show new. And we had 3 or 4 different pieces that were world premieres at last night's show. We had one piece of music that's inspired by Assassin's Creed Unity that goes on sale today. And so we heard the music, the song that's been officially made by Ubisoft goes on sale today. They played it for us last night with the singer that sings it there in attendance. They had what was the other world premieres? They had a bit from 007 Bloodstone with the guy that wrote the music there. They had Journey, and they had the guy that had composed the music for Journey come out onto stage and talk about working with that video game company. And he was saying that that video game company do things a bit differently to most video games companies, in that they say, we need this feeling and go away and write some music. And then he went away and wrote the music, and then they took the music and said, yes, this music is good, now go make a game based on this music. And then he got sent the playtest copy of it, and he's playing it. It's like, this game is better than my music. I'm going to go away and rewrite my music. And apparently that went back and forth 2 or 3 times with them going, well, now the music's so much better than the game we've made. Well, now the game is much better than music I've made. Until someone came along and said, we're releasing the game now. We need this.
Can you please stop fighting each other?
You boys are both pretty, and let us release the game.
But the other brilliant moment with him was that he's like, Tommy Tallarico's like, well, you're going to conduct the orchestra. I can't remember the word for conduct. You're going
to swish your hands around and hope for the best.
I thought direct. And I was like, no, that's not right. You're going to conduct the orchestra for this. And he said, yes, but I'm missing one thing. And he reaches inside his coat, like his suit jacket, and pulls out from the inside of his suit jacket and unfurls a big red scarf with the Journey symbol on the back.
Son of
a... He worked on the game, sure.
It would clash with your flair.
Yeah, but I would love a scarf like that. I would love it. I want it so bad.
But basically, if you can go see it, go see it. It is worth the money. If you can't go and see it, however, they are doing a Kickstarter. They are doing a Kickstarter for their 4th album. Last year, they did a Kickstarter for their 3rd album.
And before that, they did a Kickstarter for their second album.
No. They only did one for their 3rd album. They did one for their 3rd album, Level 3, and it broke records for... I think they said it's second on the most amount of money made for an album on Kickstarter. And it was... It made its money on the second to last or last day. It funded at the last minute. So they've started the Kickstarter for Level 4. And it's got nearly a month to go. As I say, they've literally just started it. It's got 150,000 goal, and it's currently sitting at $117,000.
Already?
Already.
Good.
So this looks like, it's going to happen. 117,515. It's just updated. If you go and back it at the $10 level, it's in American dollars because, yes, you get the digital download of the actual album itself, You also get the Video Games Live Bonus Round 2 album, which is an exclusive bonus 20-track extended video game music compilation digital download that will not be sold after the Kickstarter is done. So the only way to get that is to Kickstart it. So I'm going to try and do a thing here.
And back it now.
Let's see if I can do this. And basically, there's a thing that you should go and kickstart.
Somewhere
over the rainbow. Oh. I pressed a thing and it went horribly wrong.
Have you broken the internet, John?
I may have done. Here we go. This is the button I meant to press. Think that worked.
No idea.
Yes, here we go. We should be now seeing. You should now be seeing the link to it. But this is the album. You should go kickstart it. I will make sure that there's a link in the down below if the thing on the screen isn't working, which it may not be because I don't know how this works.
Cool.
But go kickstart that album. And I'm going to go do it myself because I want the album. I bought the third album at the concert last night. So.
And that's why John won't be in for the rest of the podcast. If you're busy downloading.
So I'm just going to go. Okay, no, guys, tell me about Evolve.
First of all, before we get onto that, Sean, I have put a link in the thing for you for an extra long journey scarf.
I will look at that momentarily. I shall wait until after.
Hangout chat, Sean.
It's in the chat window, yeah, Hangout chat for you. But yeah, no, playing Evolve, it's good. When it works. Obviously, the Alpha Evolve trial things this weekend, and they were doing it mainly to test the servers, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
I tried playing Saturday, and I just couldn't get a game. There was one time when I was waiting for about 45 minutes to get into a game. Don't know if you had similar problems with this, Sean?
I kind of did. I tried yesterday because I didn't know, because obviously they on Steam, then you get it onto the alpha. And I didn't notice that until Saturday night, and so I thought, well, I'll leave it until tomorrow. And so it seemed a little bit better yesterday. I managed to get onto a few games, but it did take quite a while.
Well, yesterday I got the email saying, like, we're going to try and stress that, like, they sent out an email to most people, like, we're going to try and stress the servers now. Can everyone, like, basically come on and play? So I went on and I, like, played, like, everything was fine. Whereas in the night before, when they weren't trying to stress the servers, it was, like I say, I waited about 40 minutes to get a game. And by that I mean, like, I waited 40 minutes and then gave up. And it was ridiculous. I had a couple of games where, like, everything would just freeze, and a couple of bugs and glitches, but it's an alpha. It's expected.
Yeah.
But
you know what you're getting into with alphas.
Yeah. I mean, don't go into an alpha and expect it to be amazing if you've never done alpha or beta play before or early access play. Like, you should expect these things. But no, it played really well. The gameplay of it was really cool. So playing as the monster, you're a big hulking monster. able to mess things up really easily.
And
to Hulk out and smash and destroy. It's kind of interesting. You've got a bit of tactic in like what sort of abilities that you give yourself. Because you start off, you get 3 points to spend on your 4 abilities that you can have, depending on which monster you are. Depends on which abilities you get access to. So you kind of got to be careful. And as you go up level, like you go around as the monster and you eat wildlife, kill and eat wildlife. And as you kill and eat wildlife, you get points. You can then evolve into level 2, and you get 3 more points to spend, but you get like health and armor. More health and armor, and when you get to level 2, you should be then even playing field with the hunters at that point. And then if you get to level 3, you get another 3 points to spend, and like that's when things are in your favor.
Yeah.
So that's sort of playing as the monster. Playing as the hunters, you're effectively just trying to kill the monster. It's fun. Each of the characters has a different ability. It's kind of nice that you can hop between the characters. If there is like a computer-controlled character, anyone can hop over to the computer-controlled character. So if you're in a game, and say if we were all in a game and John drops out and he's the trapper, we can hop in and as the trapper quickly to make sure that
need the trapper to do a thing.
Yeah, you may have needed to do a specific thing at a specific time, or to place a specific trap in a specific place. So you're not screwed over. The AI is just as good, well, better, I should say, than the Dead or Alive AI. Dead or Alive? What am I on about?
Left 4 Dead, I think you mean.
I mean Left 4 Dead.
Oh no, the Dead or Alive
it's definitely
AI is reasonably good.
I mean, the Dead or Alive AI is not what we're here to discuss. The Dead...
I mean, Dead or Alive AI probably wouldn't do a lot of good in this scenario.
Well, they could try and beat him up, you know.
The Left 4 Dead, it's a lot better than the Left 4 Dead AI in some ways. But you know, like the Left 4 Dead AI was perfect for what it was. Like these guys will run around there, hunt down a monster. It would be kind of interesting to see like I really hope they do a. They just let you go on and play like single player against, like, you know, if you want to be the monster and go and fight the hunters, you can. I believe they've said that you can, and I think you were meant to be able to do that through the alpha, and I just didn't see the option to do that potentially.
I didn't see any option to play kind of a single player thing. I would like if they did have it. If it's not a thing they're doing, I'd like to see if I'd like to do it. Just even if it's just to test out, even if it's just like to test out the classes that you're not normally doing.
I did read
it was a server thing, and if they're testing out the multiplayer side of it, they're going to not do the single player.
Well, I did read when I was trying to look up to make sure that we could actually discuss this before the podcast went up, or we start recording this. They were talking about that you can play it offline and you can play it by yourself. So I'm guessing that if you just weren't connected to the internet and wanted to play it, you can. So they must have that option in, and you can still, from what I understand, you can still gain like all of the, because part of the thing that happens is as you are using particular characters and using their particular abilities and doing damage on those particular abilities, you get to level up. And there's like a little leveling up thing, and that even progresses when you play by yourself, apparently, according to what they've said. So if that happens, that's really nice. You're not forced into like, okay, I want to play as the monster, but if I go online now and play as the monster, everyone will kill me because everyone's probably leveled up by this point because I don't play games online that much. I'm going to go play as the monster by myself for a bit, and then once you've leveled up a bit as the monster and got used to the monster, you can then hop into a game and have all of your bonuses still. I think that's kind of nice. The choosing role system works well. So when you first kick up the game, and you can change this at any point, it says what is your preferred roles, and you pick the order in which you would like to play those characters, the particular characters.
Yeah.
So you can change between them. Really rather nice. If you're
John?
Hello?
Okay, we've not lost each other.
games where you're get kicked off for being a monster.
Oh,
did
we
I
lost
just...
you for a moment there, Drew.
Yeah, you paused for a moment.
Oh, what was I saying? I apologise.
You were just saying about the setting up what roles you prefer thing.
Yeah. So you set up the roles you prefer. It's kind of a nice way of doing it. So you're not trapped into like you get put in a game and it's like you are this person and you're like I suck at this guy. I've been leveling up the trapper the entire time. It will switch you around, so everyone will get a turn of being everything. If that's what they want. I mean, I'm assuming that you might go into a room where like you're the only person who wants to be the monster, and you just get to be the monster. But obviously this was the alpha, so everyone's of course wanted to be everything.
Yeah.
I managed to play as the Goliath monster, who I had good fun with, and I managed to play as the assault guy, who is kind of cool. I've got to say the pacing of being a hunter is really quite like being on the hunter side is really quite nice.
Yeah.
Where you have to follow the footsteps and whatnot of the monster, and you get like every so often you get signals of like the birds have run away from this particular location, the monster must be over there, or like the birds are circling over there, so the monster must be over there. And then you got to try and track down the monster and whatnot and fight the monster. And obviously, the earlier you do this, the better, because the more it evolves, the worse it gets. And then eventually, the monster gets to level 3, and then he can attack your power relay. In which case, he's just either got to go there and destroy that, or he kills you all. But of course, you all goes to the monster relay to stop him from killing you all, and he kills you all because he's really powerful at this point.
Yes.
But no, it works. It's a really cool game. The few games I've managed to actually properly play of it.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Sean agrees with you.
It's a game I'm quite. I sort of heard about it originally, and I was like, this could be really good. And then I heard people saying some good things who played it at like conventions and whatnot, and I went, that's kind of reassuring. Still not sure. And now I've actually played it, I'm like really quite excited to play this one. The only thing I'm kind of concerned about is whether it'll do a Titanfall kind of thing, where everyone's sort of like, Titanfall, great game, I love it, I think it's fantastic. Easily the best first-person shooter multiplayer game around, and but like people just got bored of it after a while because there was like no campaign. I'm just hoping that they don't fall into that trap.
No. It would be nice. I'm looking forward to Evolve a lot, and hence why I was really excited to play the alpha. But
I suppose one of the things it's going to have to do is sort of hopefully fall into the same place that Left 4 Dead does, where not necessarily you're going to be playing it all the time with randomers, but you'll every so often go, Left 4 Dead's really good. Sean, Drew, Dan, Sarah, me, let's go do it.
Yeah, so every once in a while you just call up, just say, "Hey guys, let's go and hunt the monster," and you can all go and hunt some monsters.
I mean, hopefully they put enough stuff in there that you want to go right. Okay, I want to go and get more monster or more power, different power for my monsters, or new skin for my monsters. I think that's one thing that Titanfall could have done a bit more of having more variety in there, but they did a good. Like the thing is, like as many people pointed out at the time, the more variety you put into the game, the more balancing issues you have, and that's half the reason Titanfall is so brilliant. Is it's really well balanced.
Yeah, but that's the thing with that. They've got to try and keep it balanced while at the same time making it fun to be everything. It's got to be fun to be the medic. It's got to be fun to be the hunter. It's got to be fun to be the monster. It's got to be fun to be everything. So
just to let you guys know, Prince Vegeta has followed us on Twitter.
Good for us.
Wait there. I mean, don't literally wait there, but you can continue talking and stuff.
But yeah.
It's got to be fun to be everything. Like
Yeah.
If one of the things isn't fun, then people will stop playing it because they're that guy that always gets left as that one.
Yeah, it's the kind of typical thing. But yeah, I got to play a little bit. At first, it was just trying to get my PC to run it, because my PC is getting on a little bit now. So.
Oh well, I was playing it on the Xbox One, and I had no issues with running it, obviously.
Yeah. Well, with me, because like my PC can still run a lot and can still do a lot. It was just I started it up in its recommended settings, the settings that it detected my PC could work, and it put it on high graphical settings and my normal resolution. I had to reduce it down to low graphical settings and like 720p resolution to actually get it to even load.
You mean? Sorry, John. You meant that this guy's following us on Twitter?
Yes. Look, allow me to.
It's possibly because our power level was over 9,000. But yeah,
no.
so. Yes.
I mean, I'm slightly concerned that my desktop computer couldn't apparently handle Minecraft 1.7 modded.
My MacBook can't handle Five Nights at Freddy's, so.
Well, yeah.
I did some research and found out.
Freddy's, however, you guys might want to go and look at the FBF Let's Slay that we put up for
I already did.
Where Nat and Dave play Five Nights at Freddy's.
I take it you didn't tell them anything about the game.
Nope.
Good.
Well, because like obviously as you know, John, I'm a big fan of it. I'm the one who brought it to your attention, I believe.
Indeed.
It's good. It's a great game. I really like it, and it's terrifying. But like, go and tell Nat and Dave to like to look into like the more about the game, because it just gets more and more terrifying the more and more you look into it.
That Let's Slay, whatever you want to call it. Because, you know, I'm being fancy and Halloween-y by calling it a Let's Slay.
I might say, you can bring this back at Christmas. We'll do some Let's Slays. And...
Ho, ho, ho!
Sure.
I literally just said, like, you guys, you're going to come and play a game. I'm not telling you what the game is. I'm not playing the game. It's a scary game. I'm not, you know, I'm not going to be in the room. You guys are going to sit there, you're going to play the game. I did that intro and left. The intro that you see in there, I then went and sat down somewhere I couldn't see the screen. And that was their first time playing the game. They'd seen the title of it, and that was it. So that's their first time playing it. We do have a second episode of it that has their second time playing the game. Where they started on night 2, because obviously they got to night 2 in that.
Like that's as far as I've ever got in the game, and that's mainly because I couldn't find a computer to play it on, and I refused to buy it on like my iPad. But it really annoys me that my phone.
I've got it on the game as well.
Well, the thing is, it really annoys me, right? Is that my phone can play Five Nights at Freddy's, but my MacBook can't.
Drew, is that over your shoulder your girlfriend's Halloween mask?
Yes, that's the chicken Halloween mask.
I was going to say something.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about that.
We'll just mention if it starts getting slowly closer to us. Slowly closer.
Anyway, yeah, no.
I wish I had the ability to make it get slowly closer to him.
If you have Erin's number, you can text her, but she'd have to like come past me to. Anyway,
yeah, that's the problem.
Five Nights
on Facebook. She's online on Facebook at the moment.
Five Nights at Freddy's is a fantastic game, and it gets creepier like the more you look into it, and I can't wait for number 2. And I looked into, like I said, to find out like why the MacBook can't handle it, and it's really stupid. It's because it's all 2D. Like everything in the game is like 2D. There's no like 3D components in the game. And apparently, like, yeah, I like don't come and attack me for this, like, computer nerds who understand computers and stuff more than me. But basically, the MacBook doesn't have like a 2D engine that it doesn't understand the 2D engine.
So you can only play 3D things on it.
Well, yeah, it doesn't have this particular 2D engine for it. So basically, Five Nights at Freddy's just doesn't work because of the engine it runs on, but it works on my phone.
I'd like to point out we've actually potentially got some live feedback from the audience. In that Stefan's messaged me on Facebook. Having played the Evolve Alpha, I have managed to get a new character, which you get 3 for each class, and nicely each character has different abilities too, including the monster.
Yep.
Yes. There will be 3 monsters in the game. There's 2 at the moment in the alpha, which is the Goliath and the Cthulhu-looking one.
The Kraken, yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I know.
The Cthulhu-looking one.
Well, it's because basically when I got into a game once, right, with the Cthulhu-looking one, because you have to unlock him as your friend.
Yeah.
It's suggested. It's not suggested, said. And I got into a game of it, and it froze. This is the one where everyone just froze. It was in a moment where the Flash runs really too fast, and then everyone else around him just freezes, and he gets trapped there. But yeah, no, he jumps. I jumped up to because the Kraken was flying around, and I jumped up to it, and Aaron walked into the room and went, "It looks like Cthulhu." So I just call it the Cthulhu one now, because it's Cthulhu.
It essentially is. It's tentacles and it's got wings. It flies around. It's got tentacles. It's Cthulhu, but its official name is the Kraken. So, but they've not announced what the third one's going to be yet. But I'm going to look forward to see what that one is.
And then each character will have new things because they showed that off a while ago. I think they showed the second medic has different healing powers.
Yeah.
But it's good fun. No. Anyway, should we talk about a different game? Because I think I've talked about as much about Evolve as I possibly can, unless Sean wants to throw in anything else.
No, it's like I said. I played as the monster in Eurogamer, and then yesterday I played as the Assault, and it was fun. It was my first time playing as a hunter, and it's actually really a lot of fun. Because I didn't get to see it. I didn't get to see at all how you saw the screen through as the hunter before. I only saw it as obviously the monster.
You also get a nice little drop off right at the start of the game. You get dropped off in a drop ship. I'll just say this because I thought this was quite fun. You get dropped off in a drop ship, and essentially the sequence is shown it shows you the lockers, and the first time you see it, that you're going to get fed up with it because that's all you see of that bit. But then the characters will do different conversations, and there was at least 2 I saw, where one they talk about the hunter was trapped on this alien world for 2 years with nothing but her alien dog pet thing.
Yeah.
And then the other one was them basically saying we're gonna go do this, guys, kind of thing. So that's kind of interesting. You got a bit of story, and I hope they do something like that for each of the characters.
That would be interesting if they had conversations that can happen between certain combinations of characters. It would be really interesting to see that.
I mean, you see all the lockers for a load of different characters. I noticed the 2 Assault characters ones there, because one says that one of them is a word that I can't say on the podcast.
No. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, and I can't wait for it. It's just I really need to get money to get an Xbox One so I can actually play it properly, rather than relying on my PC, which is slowly getting old and dying.
Yeah. And the only thing I think is I want I'm probably going to get it on the Xbox One for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
I'm kind of interested though, really, to see what they do with modding it.
Yeah, that's another thing. That's the one thing I want. I want it on the PC, but I would need to eventually get around to getting a new PC to be able to get it. I suppose technically, since my PC can run it, but just I need to reduce things down to be able to. But it'll be interesting to see if they do fully implement workshop support for it, like they did with the Leaf Deeds.
It would be very interesting to see what sort of mods people can come up with. I mean, obviously, the most obvious ones are new monsters and new character classes.
New maps would be very interesting to see. That's what I would be seeing with mods. Because
there are two maps that they did in the alpha are pretty similar.
Exactly. So, see what people could think of in the terms of maps. Like, even if they made some really massive sprawling maps, would be amazing.
I mean, the maps are pretty big.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Well, could you imagine ones that were actually huge, like an entire canyon or something like that?
Like Skull Island. Let Skull Island happen.
That would be great. That would be brilliant. But,
I do have one. I've just remembered one complaint I have about the game, because I'll be doing I've recorded a Let's Play for my channel.
Why don't you plug that thing?
I'll plug that later. I'll do a proper plug bit later. But I did a Let's Play for it, and I noticed something, and I've just remembered this, and I'll bring it up here. One of the Goliath's powers is that he can climb up walls.
Yeah.
There doesn't seem to be any indication of what he can and can't climb up until you're right in front of it. And there was a number of times where I was the Goliath and I was trying to get away, and I was like, right, I'll climb up this wall. No, and I'm standing jumping into the wall. No, can't get there. Okay, jump. No, not allowed this one. There's right until you hit the wall, and you're trying to do it. There is no good indication of what you can jump on, and you easily waste and you lose health because you're getting attacked because you're trying to run away. There's nothing to assist you with this.
Yeah, it would be an idea to. I'm not quite sure what they could do. Possibly make it so in your vision it's tinted a slightly different color, maybe, so it determines what you can and can't climb. I mean, I'm not saying turn it bright blue or something like that. That's just a slight different tint to show.
Or maybe
the problem when you're is with the Left 4 Dead one, they had those hand and footprints, didn't they, on every wall that you could climb up? And I think possibly that was a bit much, and they're trying to work it out the other way. They've gone too far that way now.
I mean, like I say, that's the only real issue that I've got at the moment with the game, with the gameplay of the game is and because obviously they haven't announced what the third monster is yet. So it might be literally just they have to figure something out for this one monster.
Possibly.
Because the Cthulhu one can fly. And I haven't played it, so I don't know if there's any restrictions on flights, so don't ask me. But, yeah, so he doesn't have the problem of jumping on the walls. It would be nice to have something other than, until you get right, you're facing the wall, and you're you're like this, and it says, no, you can't do that.
Yeah. I'm really not sure what they're going to do for the third monster. It's going to be quite interesting what they do with it.
A fish.
Giant fish. Big fish.
Can only be in the ocean. It's really easy to kill.
Possibly something that burrows would be quite interesting. Something that doesn't leave footprints, but you have to know different ways to track it. You can't rely on the footprints. You have to rely on what it disturbs.
Well, I don't know, because obviously the Cthulhu one won't leave footprints unless he's on the ground. I mean, true. I don't know what his limitations are on flying.
That's the only thing we can't really think of that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the third one's going to be. I'm looking forward to finding out what it is.
Anyway, other games, shall we?
Other games, shall we? John,
do you want to tell us about the demo?
Yeah, I played the Sid Meier's Civilization Beyond Earth 2 for 81613. Beyond. Yeah, because I kept watching videos of it, and then Dan spoke about it on the 200th episode, and I don't know what it was. It really interested me ever since they first announced Beyond Earth. Even though
it has interested me. I've never played Civilization, but I have been interested.
Yeah.
And then they went, it's not on Mac.
Yeah.
Sorry? Oh, sorry.
There you are. But yeah, I mean, I own Civilization 5, and I own all the DLC for it and all that. but I never really got into it. I don't know what it was. I just didn't really click with it so much. But I was still really interested in Beyond Earth, so I suddenly realised yesterday, while debating whether I want to buy it, that they had a demo. So I thought I'd give it a go. And it's a rather weird demo, but it is worthwhile getting it if you are thinking about the game. I say it's weird because it limits you, so you can only choose out of, well, you have to be only one nation. You can't have any other. You have to be Brasilia, so you have to be Brazil.
Right.
Then you only have a very limited choice, because how it starts is you have a sponsor, which is what your nationality is, essentially. And then you can choose like what kind of ship you had, what kind of cargo you had, what kind of people were on your ship, and stuff like that. And that determines how you're going to play and stuff like that, rather than picking I'm going to be Genghis Khan or whatever. So you're very limited to begin with. You only get one sponsor, so you can only be essentially what was Brazil.
Yeah.
And then you get about, I think for the rest of it, you only have a choice of 2 of the other things, like the people, the cargo, and everything else. But I picked what I wanted and started it up. Then you only get a choice out of 1 possible map, which is a Pangean map, which I suppose makes sense because it's a small single continent, single landmass map.
Right.
But then the weirdest part of it came a lot later, because I started playing this and was enjoying it. I started really enjoying it. And then suddenly it comes up with a screen saying it's timed out and that I have to now go and buy the game.
Oh.
So it's a timed demo, which they don't advise you it's a timed demo. So
That's
evidently,
nice of them.
So it was a little bit annoying because I was starting to get my little Civ, my little tutorial Civ up, and I was enjoying it. And then suddenly it stops me and says, "No, you're not allowed to play anymore. You're done."
And so you went and bought it?
And so I went and bought it because even though it's a timed demo and even though it limits you quite a large amount, it still fully gives you like the tech web that it now has. It fully allows you to go down that as far as you can within the hour you have. It allows you to do everything you can. Once you get into the game, you're not limited. It's just they limit the starting conditions and the amount of time you can play for. So, yeah, I enjoyed the demo. It was very good. The whole virtue system and the new tech web and everything is a lot more. I find it easier to understand than Civ did. It may just be that the tutorial's a little bit better, because essentially you're just playing a tutorial. But it may be that they just explain it a little bit better than they did in Civ 5, maybe. But I really enjoyed it. I can't really talk much about it really because I've not played the full game yet. But demo-wise, it's a good demo, and if you're thinking about Civ Beyond Earth, I recommend getting it because by just playing that, it will determine whether or not you will like the full game or not. So, yeah.
So, Drew, tell us about Sunset Overdrive.
Okay, so yesterday Saturday to name day. Basically, I had a day by myself to play games, and I've started recording some stuff for my channel, Drew and Aaron Plays, where we'll be doing a lot of things on there. And I came to the Xbox One, and I was like, right, I'm gonna record a bunch of stuff to put out on the channel, so I've got a nice big backlog of stuff. And I came and sat down, and I was like, don't know what to play. So I was looking through my games, and I was like, played this one already for the channel, did the announcement video in this one, in Destiny, which is out now, I can say that. Um, and didn't really want to go and play a 360 game, because there's a little bit more setup I have to do if I want to do a 360 game at the moment. So I decided to explore the Xbox One store, and I found Sunset Overdrive is out. And it was a game that I've been wanting to play. It's one of the reasons I bought the Xbox One. I was kind of debating whether I was going to get it or wait for Assassin's Creed Unity, and then I kind of thought, I'll get both. The ultimate gamer dilemma: do I get one or the other or both?
The answer is usually both.
Well, I thought, when I was like getting an Xbox One, this was one of my like points of wanting
getting
to
an
get
Xbox One for this game.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's basically it's a very pretty game, which you'll know if you've seen any footage or anything of it so far. It's very pretty, it's very bright, it's very colourful. It goes against like the whole recent years popularities of like dark, gritty, realistic games. It is a game that knows it's a game and just runs with it, and does nothing more to try and do anything else other than be a game, and it does it fantastically. The humor in it is brilliant. I've found myself laughing at the game several times. There's one such moment where you're in the tutorial and your character, like basically, you're getting told about your upgrades, and the character goes, you get told you have to go and add this upgrade to a gun. And your character goes, how am I meant to do that? If this was a video game, I would like some like voice would randomly tell me, and then suddenly this voice just says, player, pay attention now, and your character's like, holy shit, what's that? Well, holy beep, what's that? Hello, distant
late on live podcast, bro.
Sorry.
It's fine. We're not going to put this one out on the radio.
Oh, can I swear then?
Well, not overly, no. But
Fuck!
you're live on Channel 4. Please do not swear.
All I'm saying is, like, do I have to concentrate on making myself? Do I not? Can I not worry about having to avoid swearing?
Don't worry about the swearing. Just don't, like...
Yeah, and that's fine. If I don't have to worry about it, I won't concentrate on it. And anyway, point is, back to Sunset Overdrive. Your character basically says, like, holy crap, holy shit, what's that? And then the voice just goes and says, like, I am the guy who will teach you the tutorial and teach you how to do this. And you just say, like, hi, disembodied voice. And then he only ever appears really again for a couple of other little bits other than this.
Well, I got to say, I've been watching some Let's Plays of Sunset Overdrive. And there was a particular moment where you go to meet this character for the first time, and he points his gun at you and says, like, well, I've got this gun, I'm going to shoot you. And your character just, like, points out and says, I've got guns too. And the weapon wheel opens up behind the other character, and the other character just turns around and looks at it and goes, oh.
It's, there are a lot of moments.
The other guy's like, oh, how do I know that you can use them? And it's like, I'm American.
There are a lot of good moments in the game with the humor. There's like, what was it? I'm trying to think of the exact situation. Oh yeah, you happen to rescue this guy. You're trying to find a propeller, and you go and rescue this guy, and he's like, I can help you make the propeller. And then the character your character just looks at the screen and is just like, how convenient. And like, there's another bit where you're doing a thing to drain an area. You're like going and doing a thing, and this AI voice of the factory is talking to you, but it's meant to be like a recorded voice. And he will just say, and like, basically you do it once, and then it says you've got to do it again, and then when you do it the second time, it says, you are familiar with the rules of 3 in video games, right? And then like the last thing the computer says to you, like, when you do the third thing, is he goes like, I'm out of here now, my function is complete, later bitches. It's really good. It's really funny. I recommend playing it. The weapons in it are really not serious whatsoever. You will never find a weapon set like this before. Like I said, the visual style of the game is brilliant. So like the enemies explode in really nice ways. There is a character called the Popper who, when you kill it, it comes up on the screen and says "Pop" in like big arty style, and it's just gorgeous to look at. I went into this game thinking I was going to enjoy it, but maybe maybe not as much as I am now. And I thought the grinding and everything like that would get really boring. It doesn't. You just kind of like go like, right. It's really nice because you can kind of go like, right, I can go here, and then I can get up there, and then you just do it. The other thing I really like is the character customization. I've got to give a big mention to the character customization. So you can pretty much, like, as most people who have played the game will probably point out, is you can customize your character exactly how you want. So if you want to play a female who has a beard, you can.
Good.
And if you want to play a man, yeah, you can just do it because it's a video game. It doesn't matter. If you want to be a man who wears a dress, you can. If you want to have yellow cat eyes, you can. It's brilliant. But the best thing about it is when you get to a certain point in the game, very early on, like the first 20 minutes of playing it, if you're fast at doing like the tutorial stuff, a woman who appears who allows you to change your outfit. But unlike other games that says like this is your character and you are locked to this character and how this character, like you are a female character, you can just go, I want to be a bloke now, and you can just completely change your character into like a bloke. Or you go, I want to be a female.
Customization, it is not just at the beginning of the game, but entirely throughout the whole thing.
So there are times where I go there, and like you can save how your character looks as well, and just load it back up. So if you want to go like, right, I'm gonna play as a bloke for now, and this is my male character, and this is my female character, you can do that. I've spent like time, and every time I go back to this person or nearby this person, I'll change some sort of clothing about my character. I've mainly stuck as being a female character for this game, which is kind of interesting because I don't really play female characters all that much. But I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it for this game. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting. It's a very, very fun game that doesn't take itself seriously, and it's all the better for it. There are other brilliant moments in it. Like I say, the only other game, like I say, with point is at the beginning of the game when it's doing the story bit. You see your character playing a game on like their phone or iPad kind of device, tablet or phone device, and they're playing Sunset Overdrive. In Sunset Overdrive, which is kind of funny. And then the other thing that I quite like, the other feature that I'll point out and say is quite cool, is you've got Sunset TV.
Yes. This is one that we should have talked about before. But we should have done.
This is a really interesting feature. So essentially, what Sunset TV is like you can go and like at certain points you'll find TVs and you can go and watch them. And when you watch them, it's like the developers talking about new things that they've added into the game. So they're discussed like when like the DLC is coming out. I'm sure they'll put out like a video for that. Essentially, just like a video thing. But then the other thing that they can do is they can talk about other things that happen in the game. They can put player creations out through there, and you can just watch it all while in the game. And like as you like grind up to it, you can see the video playing, and then you just go up to it and you press Y, and then you can hear it properly. But then if you come away, it continues playing at that point as well. So it's really nicely done. It's a really funky little feature, and I think it's one that will make people who are going to play the game, the serious people who are going to play the game, be able to know, like, oh, I can go here and I can find out what's new about the game. Like, I don't have to go to an external website to see what they've added in this latest patch. I don't have to read some boring thing. I can just go and watch this quick video, or I wonder what other people are doing in the game. I can go and look at it and just see it while in the game. It's nice. It's a really nice game.
I'd just like to point out. Sorry, just to interrupt you. Actually, no. Finish your thing, and then I'll get to mine.
I was literally just going to end up saying like it's a game that I went to and I thought I was going to enjoy it, but I'm actually enjoying it a lot more than I originally thought I was, and I've praised it a lot recently. and it's one game that I'm going to continuously go back to in the Drew and Aaron Plays series. Because both me and Aaron have enjoyed, like Aaron's enjoyed watching me play it so far. I'm going to get her to have a go at it as well, and there's a lot there to mess around with.
I'd just like to point out the one reason that we should have talked about it beforehand is that the Sunset TV was obviously in the game before the game came out, and the only people that were playing the game before the game came out is people reviewing it or people that have been given early copies to stream it on Twitch.
Yeah.
And Sunset TV was already in the game at this point. And it was a special message to those people that were reviewing the game. And it read Brendan Winfrey, who's the guy on Sunset TV, says, "Hi and welcome to Sunset TV. If you're watching this, that means you're currently reviewing or streaming the game. Look, I'm not trying to sway your review score either way. I mean, your opinion is your opinion. But I advise you not to use the phrase sunset overhype because that's just lazy writing." And it was apparently they had a whole 2-3 minute video that was entirely explaining what the Sunset TV feature was going to be, that consistently broke the fourth wall and addresses, does exactly what the game does. It breaks the fourth wall, it addresses the player, acknowledges that it's a video game.
I mean, no, the fourth wall breaking in it, I've got to say, it's not... It doesn't pull you out of the game, it's just a nice little nod to it. It's not like for instance, and only really geeky people will get this, it's not like Deadpool level of breaking the fourth wall.
Right.
It's just like, I think the best way of putting it is...
It breaks...
It's like that moment...
It's the fourth wall.
It's what I was going to say, it's like that moment in a film where they'd be like, that's convenient, or, that's using, apart from the game. Like, basically, it's just like, it just kind of is like a nice little, like...
It's that lamp shading.
What?
It's lamp shade. It's like where they go, well, this is this is convenient, but we've said it's convenient, so you can't argue the point that we don't know that we did this thing.
Yeah. It's just kind of like, like, it takes the piss out of video game trope, like, rather than it being like, people going away and going like, that was like, why did I have to go and do that thing 3 times?
Yeah.
For example, in that example I've used, it just turns around and goes like, well, this happens in games, do it. It's funny.
Anyway, that is episode 201 of the podcast, I think.
Yes, it is, because I've got to go.
It's, as I said, it's a slightly shorter one this week. We will be back next week. Hopefully, Dan will be able to join us next week, and we will actually talk about the news. We'll hopefully have another special guest in Drew's hot seat.
Wait, you kicked me out of my house?
Not necessarily in that specific hot seat, but...
As I say, if you're sending someone not from Harlow to here, that's like a bit of a journey for them to be on the podcast.
You go to Drew's house, but I don't even know you. Go to Drew's.
He has really good internet.
Anyway,
bye guys.
John, just quickly, sorry. While we're still alive.
Bye guys.
I was just going to say, do we want to announce Brothers Play quickly, the new feature?
We should do that. That is a thing we should do.
We have
already announced it, like you've announced it in your announcement video. We announced it in the first episode that we filmed on Saturday, but we will announce it again.
That first video hasn't actually gone out yet.
No, it hasn't. But we do announce it in the future in that, but that's actually in the past to now. So, yes. Brothers Play. You'll have seen that we've started putting up Brothers Play videos on the FBF channel. It's me and Drew playing Destiny at the moment. But Drew's just bought a capture card, as may have been mentioned by him.
Which I've started doing stuff over on my channel, Drew and Aaron Plays, with my lovely girlfriend Aaron, where we'll be playing games together, and then there's going to be Drew Plays, where I play games by myself, and Aaron plays by herself, and other things that we're going to do. And one of the things that me and John have talked about and we've come to an agreement with is that with Brothers Play, for the first time, you won't
can continue to follow it exactly the same as normal on Final Boss Fight.
And see John's point of view.
You will see my point of view. You will see my gameplay footage. You will hear and obviously see Andrew in the game.
If you want to, if you are bored with John's view, or you want to see a person who doesn't die every 5 minutes, or who can drive vehicles in games,
I would make a hand gesture right now, but this is it.
Okay.
What's happening behind this screen?
Which fingers up?
Or 2 fingers, possibly.
No, it was only 1.
Okay, cool. But no, basically, you can come and watch my perspective over on my channel. It will be the same thing. It will be the same length. It will just be on my channel, and it will be from my perspective. And we are currently in discussion about the weekly.
We're working out basically when the first episodes that we've recorded are going to go live.
With Brothers Play.
We've recorded Dead Rising 3.
Yes.
And so we've got a bit of a buffer of Dead Rising 3 that needs to go live first. The Dead Rising 3 Final Boss Fight Investigates that we did several months ago, last month, that's still going live.
That's from John's view only.
We are then going to put up Brothers Play Dead Rising 3. Another part of the point of the Brothers Play is that it's not necessarily going to be entire games. It's not necessarily going to be all of the game. It's going to be maybe a few hours as and when we feel like it, basically.
Yeah, it's just going to be like me and John. Occasionally, we play games together. Surprisingly, we're brothers. We both have the same console.
We both have similar tastes in games.
We both play like games with co-op and where you can play together. So we will play games together. The other thing I was going to say, which is the change, which is one thing that will be changing at some point, which again we have to discuss and figure out, is with the Let's Plays that we do, the Grand Theft Auto one, and
that's it basically.
That's the only one we're doing at the moment. With the Grand Theft Auto 1, we will get a second point of view, but we have to figure out how that's going to work.
I believe what's going to happen is basically we're going to have Drew Cam, and so we'll be able to cut back and forth between my perspective and Drew's perspective, and hopefully Nat's perspective, and maybe in the future Sean's perspective, so that we can actually have full multi-camera things.
The only side of it, obviously, we have to figure out is the technical issues
of getting the footage to someone who can edit it, aka myself. Anyway.
But the improvements, more camera angles. We don't have to rely on John being the only cameraman to capture the cool stuff. Which is not a stab at John, it's just saying there are times he misses things because he's only a person.
He can't be everywhere at once.
He tries his best, but he can't.
I've failed my omnipotence role. Anyway,
I've got to
bye
get going.
Guys.
Toodles!
Toodle pip.